try to unpack that, Chuck. I mean, first of all, if you look at the promises he made on immigration, you have border crossings down by 70%. You look at TPP, one of the first executive orders the president signed was getting out of TPP. You look at ethics, that was one of the bullet points you had. Every employee of the West Wing signed an ethics pledge that said, you're not going to lobby for 5 years after you leave this place, and you're never going to lobby for a foreign country. Look at Neil Gorsuch, first 100 days. A Supreme Court justice is sworn in, first time since 1881. And if you just give me 1 minute, and I won't drone on, but this idea about major legislation not being passed within the first 100 days. Barack Obama had a pre-baked stimulus package that started in October of the election year, which was passed in February. It was pre-baked. George Bush didn't get any major legislation until June. Clinton, August 10th. Bush 41, a year and a half later. Reagan, August 13th. Carter, 658 days after he took office. Nixon, 1 year. Johnson, 225 days. Here's the deal. The president signed over 28 bills already. Healthcare may happen next week. It may not. We're hopeful it will. As far as borders, you said the military. We have right now in the CR negotiating one of the biggest increases in military spending in decades. So he is fulfilling his promises and doing it at breakneck speed.
All right, but let me give you one standard that really is, I would think, potentially troubling. So far, for Senate confirmation, just filling the jobs, filling the empty positions in government, he's only nominated 45 people. Only 22 of them have been confirmed, 2 have failed. At this same point in time, George W. Bush had 85 nominations, H.W. Bush 95, Obama 190, Clinton 176. What is taking so long for you guys to just fill the political appointments? You're way down here.
Actually not. Let me clear this up. First of all, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have done something that even many Democrats and even Democrat-leading pundits have said is inexcusable, which is to hold up one nominee after the next to fill secretary positions. Wait a second.
But
no.
I'm going to get to that. Nominated.
Let me get
to nominated.
Okay, let me get to it.
Slow down. If you had 190 nominated.
Let me finish. I know what the question is. Let me finish. Look, even on David Shulkin, who passed 100-0 in the Senate, Schumer still took up to 30 hours of debate. I'll get to that. We have hundreds of people in the queue. Here's what happens when you slow down these nominations. When you slow down the nominations, you can't actually clear someone for a nomination into the Senate. So when you talk about who we have for assistants to secretary, let's just throw assistants to secretary at HUD or the State Department. Those people have been chosen. However, when you choose one of those people, the process is you have to send that person to OGE clearance, with Office of Government Ethics clearance, and they have to get an FBI background check. You can't get the clearance for 30 or 40 days after you choose the person. So those people are in queue, and when they get the clearance from OGE, they get sent to the Senate.
You acknowledge you're behind.
But we're behind.